Game number 3 in Group B of, I was about to say Meta Madness, but we're here at the Nations Cup, everybody. So the Nations Cup continues with Group B. We got the Russian players against Finland. I talked about it already before. I'm going to mention it again in the games that they play in. The team is slightly renamed. The players in blue, they didn't want to represent Russia for obvious political reasons. But of course, this is still a Nations Cup, so they're listed here as the Russian players, but they wanted to make it clear that they don't want to represent their country for political statements. But I also have to, right from the beginning, I talked about this on Twitch, I talked about this in the previous video, just say that everybody that is now going to throw a hissy fit in the YouTube comments complaining about how they shouldn't be allowed to play in the first place, you guys can just piss off. Just let's be serious about this. We have them playing for years now in the scene. They've usually played in mixed teams with Ukrainian players that don't have a problem here. So anybody that is now offended on someone else's behalf that doesn't have a problem with this can just leave. So if you are among these people, I don't want to have you on my channel in the first place, so just go. Anybody else that can acknowledge that these guys have been playing for 8 years in Heroes of the Storm scene and shouldn't be kicked out of a tournament just because they were born in the wrong country, enjoy the show, enjoy the series. We have Finland going up against them right now, so it is going to be an interesting game. The Russian players and also Poland, they're probably the two favorites to make it out of Group B. And the Finns, they are trying to knock at that door. They are really trying to make it through. And they were so close in their series against Poland to win that Battlefield of Eternity game. It looked for a long time like they might just be able to pull it off, and that would have thrown the entire group into turmoil. They can still do the same thing if they're pulling off a victory here against the Russian players. So we'll see what they can do. Sky Temple is our first map. Again, if you missed it, we have an offline final coming up in Berlin at the 10th and 11th of June. So if you guys interested to watch these players live, if you want to shake hands with casters, if you want to just watch the event with like-minded Heroes of the Storm fans and combine that with a bit of a trip to Berlin to enjoy the city and visit it, then you're more than welcome to do that. If you watch this on YouTube right now, there are links in the description that give you information not only about the tournament and the offline event, but also infos about the venue itself. We're going to have the entire thing hosted at the Experian in Berlin. Super happy to have them as a venue partner. And if you want to get an idea of the venue, there's also a link to their website where you can see gallery shots and pictures so you get a bit of an idea what you can expect there. But super hyped for the entire thing, obviously. Now, we have Abathon Illidan as the final two picks, and I'm all here for it. Sky Temple as a map, very predictable normally with the rotations, but when you're now coming in with Abathon Illidan, that shakes things up a lot. And on the side of the blue team, we now have that combo with Jojo and Blaze at the front. And they go for Hanzo Tracer. So they go a little bit deep into the Overwatch pool as they're trying to counteract the Blind Boy on the other side. Sky Temple, map number 1. We are still in Group B of the Nations Cup of the European Qualifier. So guys, let's go. The Russian players against Team Finland. Game number 1, the Russian players on the left with Bishops on Tracer. Yeah, he gave Hanzo over to Quetti again, so him on Tracer, not a bad combo either. Shizakid is playing Johanna, we got Renella on Rhaegar, Maitri on Blaze, and over to the right side of the map, it is Team Finland with Folke on Anubarak, Hatua on Anduin, we got MXD on Abatha, Patsku on Illidan, and Vexu on Jaina. Last time that I was in Finland, it was actually kind of funny, because the first thing that literally happened is that one of the Finnish guys that I was meeting was looking at me and was like, "Do you want to have some real Finnish alcohol?" And I was like, alright, let's go. Good start into the trip. I can't remember what he gave me. I think it was some dark licorice-based liquor. So yeah, it was brutal, but it was also kind of good. It was, by the way, nearly as brutal as what we're seeing here now. Kill after kill after kill. I mean, damn. 3 heroes down as they take apart Illidan, Jaina, and Anubarak. So that was a very, very quick and aggressive start by the Russian team here. Jaina got nearly saved by Anduin, but gets killed a second later, and they're just cleaning house on this one. So, holy hell. That was rough. That was a rough start for the Finnish team. Now, of course, they are going to be hoping to unleash the strength of Illidan in the mid and in the late game. But yeah, it's kind of It's a rough start for them. This, on the other hand, brings them back a little bit. So they're taking down Blaze, and that is kill number 1. Good for them. A Nubarak with a Beetle build on level 1, by the way. We have also camps now taken, as they're slowly starting to try and gain some map control here. The red team is also not trailing behind on this in any way, shape or form. They went for their own Siege Giant camp immediately. Tracer is sniffing that out, and I would never put it past the Russians to go for an aggressive move. They've been playing that particular Heroes of the Storm style ever since Alpha, and now they're coming in trying to invade this, and of course they are. There's a hit point pool missing on the red team since Abathur doesn't have his ult yet, so they're trying their best to get control, and they steal the camp. They take it, and they get the kill on Illidan as well. Nicely done. Yeah, again, the blue team was always known for the enormous aggression that they showcased, and I'm always talking about this one example where back in the day, the Russian-Ukrainian teams were the first ones to come in and use blood for blood on Rega and other heroes to just snipe targets, and they just drafted in some of the tournaments they fully drafted for these blood for blood combos until teams finally figured out what they were doing and realizing that they needed to ban and deny them a few of those. Now this isn't even a thing anymore these days, but they were always super aggressive around it. Sevkaja back then still playing for the Ukrainian team, so it was super fun, and they always came in with this aggression. Down a talent, don't care, let's go. Down a hero, we can still win this. And in this case, they were able to take the second Siege Giant camp. So that puts additional pressure onto Finland, and it also makes it very difficult. Their margin of error is becoming smaller and smaller here. Abathur will be making a big difference though. Once the level 10 is in and they have the double, once they have the copy, it's a bit of a different story. They can, for example, copy Jaina, go for the burst damage with her, unleash the ability, sacrifice her, and then continue with the symbiote. Both teams now making moves for shots as the temples are active. And as I said before, the Finnish team, they can cause upsets here. They nearly did against Poland. They got so close. But right now, we have a slight advantage for the blue team. They are in a level ahead after all. And they also have that lead in talents. And of course, in addition to that, they have a camp at the top lane. That helps them even more. Illidan is already getting pressured back and is having a tough time here. And thanks to the camp, we should honestly see this fort fall. Rega is just getting one shot after another fired for the team. Has to play it a little bit careful though, because the rotation is coming, so they have to give up on this for now. But with Hanzo in the middle, they're at least soaking a few more shots, and it's also happening at the bottom of the map. Shizakeda has pushed another wave out, so they're getting a lot of value in this game. They're removing a lot of these structures right from the beginning, and exploiting that level 7 advantage is something that worked extremely well for them. So as you can see here now, level 7 is there for both teams, but they are diving in deep, taking the mule down, and that is a big issue now. The next objective is going to spawn at the bottom of the map, so this fort is very much exposed. They stay too long though. They stay too long and they lose Johanna. So yeah, she's gone. Abathur is going to employ the mule whenever he has a chance, but will only be able to repair a limited amount. Still really impactful and powerful, of course, once that he is able to do that. What you want to do against an Abathur player is always try and take those structures down as quickly as you can, and very decisive. So I assume that we're going to see the mule deployed down at the bottom of the map once that the cooldown is ready again. Up here towards the top. Yeah, still applying some pressure to Illidan himself. And they, of course, want to have that fort, as I already said. Illidan is dead. Was a little bit too ambitious as he moved in. The rotation was obviously coming, but he was too fast, so he committed Sudoku immediately against them. They might even get the kill on my try. But while they do that, the bottom fort is now also falling, and it seems like Blaze is even able to get away from this one. So, 2 forts down, level 10 is in, and that is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, the Finnish team wasn't able to finish off Blaze in that last encounter. Happy accident, I swear. That wasn't even intended. The mule doing its work, but, well, Potsku still in trouble, and Tracer comes in. Brrr. Oh, Abathur, unbeknownst to them, was very close to that. It could have been killed by the arrow. The Ancestral actually saves Tracer. Bishops is beasting it right now. And they're coming in with even more hits. Wow, what a push forward by the team in blue. They take all of the forts down on the side of the red team. Pressure at the bottom of the map, even against the structures here. So yeah, with the second temple phase coming up, the lead for the blue team is incredible. They're so far ahead now. And again, it comes down to the fact that the blue team was able to get significantly ahead around level 10. They had a big window that they could play around with. They could use their heroic abilities to get more kills, push the lanes out. There was no chance for Finland to fight back. Now that they have their level 10s, they have to finally make a move, and they're trying to aggressively flank in from the side. But immediately, the players on the left are moving back out. The copy of Abathar doesn't do too much for them. Topside, Blaze is already burning this one to a crisp. Another camp has been taken and is now going to travel topside too. There's of course a desperate attempt by Finland to get something done down here. Ideally destroy the fort, but I think that's not happening either. And topside, this is continuing. Every single structure that you destroy right now is going to increase your chances to take a keep down with the help of the objective later on. So that's what they're playing for. Nobody's moving back. Abathar doesn't have a copy. They're coming in, swinging, as they're making their moves down here. Yeah, the attack is in. Blaze still staying topside. Illidan, Ancestral, makes it nearly impossible for him to kill Hanzo, but instead we're seeing Jaina fall again. And Anubarak is also low and dies. And Blaze is up at the keep at the top. This is just a massive display of skill here from the Russian team. Great coordination from them. And they're going in for a good old Anduin. But it's more about what's happening at the top of the map, because here we're seeing Maitri destroy the keep. Level 13 is on the board. They're going immediately for the boss. They're just not letting up. It is blow after blow after blow that is now raining down on the Finnish players as they are trying to stem the tides of the battle, stem the bleeding a little bit. But it's nearly impossible. It's a 8-kill lead that we're seeing for the Russian players. The blue team is going from camp to camp, trying to, of course, also get a bit closer to level 16 to extend that talent advantage even further and really set the tone for game number 2 already. This would be an incredible comeback if somehow Finland can rally and can bring this back. But there's now 2 Siege Giant camps that will soon travel through the bot lane. There's the boss as well, the keep. I would be shocked if they can save it. Now, to be fair, the boss is really early in the game, so this is only a 9-minute boss. They should be able to burn this one down quickly. But the copy of Abathar is also lost. The mule gets deployed. Siege Giants are moving in as expected, and the temples are activating. So if they can get kills here, then it might just be the end of the game already. Illidan is barely able to jump out with the Metamorphosis. He's in trouble. The arrow misses, but the keep is still gone. Keep is gone. That's a huge problem. And well, with that, we're now also looking at a completed quest for Jaina, so at least a bit more, a little bit more sustain for her. She can try and save herself with the quick ice block during these team fights, but it's going to be a bit rough. We have level 15 on the board. Level 16 is going to be there soon. Jojo at the bottom of the map is already starting to get them a couple of shots fired, and here in the middle it will result in another keep falling if they're getting both, and they have full control over the objective. And since they're closing in on level 16 talents, they should not have a problem taking a team fight later on as well. Already, Illidan trying to do his best. He was, of course, a bit of a linchpin, as I explained, but he's never been able to really come into his own in this game, even with the help of Abathar. There's the light bomb, but it's just not happening. Anubarak down, Illidan down, they're losing Anduin. They keep in the middle of the map. It will definitely fall now that Johanna is making her way back onto the bottom temple. The shots are being fired over here. Abathar doing his best. Blaze has not even taken all of the shots at the top, but of course, we're looking at a game that is very likely going to end in favor of the Russian players. Yeah, mid lane, no chance. They still try their best, but now both of the shots are firing straight at the shield of the core. Absolutely no opportunity to save the day here in game number 1 for the Finnish team. Well, they kill at least Tracer. Are there enough shots to finish the game? I don't think so. Not quite. So they have them down to 41%. and then they have to retreat. 41%, but the problem is they don't have a single structure anymore, and so far the blue team hasn't lost a single fort yet. That's their biggest problem right now. So, yeah, that's a huge problem. Kinda rough. 10 kills ahead. Off we go again. They're starting to make a move here for my try up at the top as they're trying to body block him away. Light bomb gets counteracted by the bunker. The problem is that the catapults that are now pushing in from the middle and the bottom and the top lane could very well end the game in favor of the blue team. So gotta be real careful with this one. Already up down at the bottom of the map, Abathur trying to lay a couple of toxic nests here. Anduin trying to come back. Illidan not able to escape. And yes, there we are. With that, bottom of the map. I mean, Abathur is still healing up the core a bit, repairing it. But I don't really think this is going to stop them now that Illidan is dead. They can just push in. They have a 3-level advantage and a talent lead on top of it. Finnish players are doing their best to hold on, but it's just not happening. Game number 1 is going to go to the blue team. And keep in mind, they already won their first series, so this will put them 3-0 in map score, and they have a chance to, take 2 matches out of 2 if they're able to win the next map as well. Either way, blue team with the lead in the best of 3.
Before we head into game number 2, make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you haven't done it yet so you don't miss out on any future content here on Khaldor TV.
Game number 2. The Russian players are in the lead. We have Battlefield of Eternity coming up as our second map in the series here in Group B of the European Nations Cup Qualifier. Finland, they did well on this map the last time that they played here against Team Poland. Can they pull it off? We'll figure it out, but game number 1 very aggressive from the blue team as usual. Now, again, there is one rule in this tournament when it comes to the drafts. It's the only rule. It is you cannot play a hero more than once in a series. It's a little bit of a hybrid with Meta Madness to make it more interesting for fans and also players. We don't want to go full overboard with all of this. Again, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, but you won't see the same heroes over and over and over again throughout a match, which is kind of nice. And since it's also supposed to be a bit more of a light-hearted tournament as a Nations Cup with that offline final that I mentioned earlier in Berlin, that was a bit of a compromise that was done there. So we now have the bans on Lucio and on Genji, so apparently everybody is done for now with the Overwatch heroes. But I want to see what the Finnish team is now gonna pull off here. They played with Li Ming last time that they played here. It was pretty good success, I'd say. So Li Ming was always a really big threat. They couldn't get an Ana combo with her. There were no nano boosts involved. That was something that the Polish team shut down very quickly when Battlefield of Eternity happened the last time. So maybe this time they can get something along those lines. But keep in mind that Hanzo's already been taken. Sylvanas has not been played yet. And also another hero that is still up is Vala. I'm going to still point her out here. She could be played with an arrow build if you wanted to. But the first thing that happens is Hogger comes in. Hogger gets taken, Diablo got banned. That was the tank that Finland played against Poland on Battlefield of Eternity. So already a bit of adjustment being made by the blue team as they're trying to ensure that not everything can be locked in here. And, well, they take Li Ming away. Okay, so much for that. So much for the Finnish team being able to play Li Ming again. She gets immediately taken. Brightwing also dropped into their midst. Finland has to rethink their strategy a little bit if they were thinking about going for Li Ming as their main damage dealer again. Now, obviously, they were already forced to make adjustments since Diablo is banned out. Tracer was played on the first map and can't be played again. But yeah, now they have to completely rethink their approach here. Still playing it with Stukov on the other hand. So we get Tyrael this time. And we have Stukov for the heals. The Tyrael pick, I mean, that signals Greymane. If I'm the blue team, I ban Greymane here. Because if you're talking about, well, what hero thrives combined with Tyrael that hasn't been played already and is also good against the Immortal, it's a bit of a duh moment. So I would get rid of Greymane for sure. Sergeant Hammer, fair point. Fair point. Sergeant Hammer is a nice ban as well. Would have been another option. Totally understandable too. I still would assume that Greymane is going to be the pick for them. So we'll see what they're going to do here. But alright, so we have the quick picks on the blue team side. Varian Dehaka, more globals, setting Li Ming also up with a taunt on Varian. Okay, that could get dangerous, especially if Brightwing and Dehaka are following up with their own CC that they have there. And on the right, Greymane or no Greymane? That's the question here right now. What else could they play? I mean, they could actually do a couple of different things, but I think that Greymane, given that they need immortal damage, would still be a good choice. There are alternatives on the other hand, so especially good ranged alternatives. And they go for the Vala combo. They go actually for Kharazim together with her, so they are likely... This might even be an auto attack style. Double support Vala hyper carry? That could be auto attack style from Vala here instead of the traditional arrow build you would expect on Battlefield of Eternity to threaten the Immortal. So maybe they're just going for the team fights instead. And they have also the shield from Tyrael. Really interesting draft now from Finland. Let's see if it works out for them. Bishops has chosen Cassia as his last pick. And with that we're headed into game number 2 of the best of 3 series. Game number 2, Battlefield of Eternity. Shizakid on Varian, might try with Dehaka. We have Bishops on Cassia, Renella on Brightwing, and Quiddy is playing Li Ming in our second game. Over on the right side of the map, we got Volk on Tyrael for the Finnish team. We got Hatua on Stukov, Patsku on Hogga, MXD on Vala, and Vexu is playing Kharazim. Alright, this is gonna get interesting. Vala not making a choice yet, but again, we could see an auto attack here. She goes for the arrow though. Despite the double support and the Tyrael shield, she decides in favor of the arrow build. Now, right off the bat, if you are going for an arrow setup, your damage against the Immortal is gonna be insane later on. Also, if you're doing a good job, and she should be able to be very aggressive with her positioning, and be able to use her vault frequently to reset the arrow, not just simply trying to save it so that she can get out of a difficult situation. This should be a situation in which she can stack that level 1 very aggressively, and this will help in team fights as well. So could be a very interesting game to be played here. You don't have to go into an auto attack style if you have a double support with this. If you have a very aggressive Vala player that knows how to properly stack his level 1, you can unleash a whole lot of damage here. And you're not running into that trap that your opponent just focuses you down, you lose the gambit stacks and then a lot of your potential as the game continues. So here we are. We got 8 stacks also for Cassia. Bishops, he's stacking pretty well so far in the early game. Top side, they've done a lot of damage too. They initially had a lot of their heroes centralized here, trying to take them down, but the coordination out the bottom of the map is a bit more important. And whoa, 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 whoa. They go for Vala. Oh, Brightwing! Too late. Too late, and they still get the kill! Shizakid, you beast! He still got the kill on Vala. It's a 2-for-1 trade, and they also lost the camp. But it is this typical aggression from the blue team that I've been highlighting in game number 1 already, and that we have experienced in every single tournament that they participated in the last couple of years. They just love this stuff. So they tried again here. It didn't quite work for them, but at least they got 1 counter kill. Vala has in the meantime rotated towards the top side and is trying to play this one out here. So, yeah, getting a few more hits in, helping the team to secure the second camp. The lead is still there. The good thing, of course, for the blue team is that they still did some structural damage earlier and are now using their opportunity bot side to do even more. Taunt is in for Varian, and this is where the real party starts for the team. But they need to have some really straight up damage on this one as well. Repeating arrow. That's where I want to see Vala to become a lot more aggressive whenever she's together with the 2 supports, so that she can get those stacks together. If she is meant to be the main damage dealer for the team, then she needs to really rack those stacks up. And of course, there's a couple of other heroes here too that can do a significant amount of damage. If you're going into the proper build here with level 16 talents in mind on Kharazim and his 7-sided strike, you can really do a whole lot of work with him too. But time will tell how aggressive they're going to be in their talents. Now with level 4, we have, for Vala at least, the ability to stack faster. Doesn't get the immortal punch just yet that she is hoping for later on in the game. So, yeah. But off we go. With that, we now have a little bit of a move here, and, well, they are trying to force them back from the Immortal after the red team has initially taken the lead, but the lick and the hit, they are both there. This is the beauty when you're coming in with Variant taunting, and then you have the Haka, or, for example, Brightwing to follow up, and the damage. You can quickly take a target down, and despite the fact that we have 2 supports on the other side, they couldn't do anything about it. Now, there is obviously a chance for Karazim to decide that he's not even going for a 7-sided strike, but instead goes for the palm, just to save the target whenever this combo gets unleashed. The problem is you're losing that cooldown battle pretty significantly. You can sell Vala a couple of times, and that might help you to turn the fight around, but Taunt has a ridiculously low cooldown, and whenever you have to sacrifice a big one for that, the second approach that your opponent makes is going to be rough to beat. This case, though, seems like the first Immortal is going over to the blue team. It's gonna get close, though. Really close. But they win it with 900 points on the shield. Nice. So, job well done. Obviously, at this point, the chase is on as they're trying to go for the Fruit Fly, and Trashwing is doing its best to escape. Might not quite work it out, but is able to go past the wall, and Tyrion leads that final shot and dies. And now the taunt on Karazim. Oh boy, they were risking something, and they're getting punished so hard. Oh, this one hurts. They're losing so many heroes. 4 are down. And they can push with the Immortal at the bottom of the map now. Oh boy, that one really, really hurt. 1 fort is gone for sure. This escalated quickly. This escalated really quickly. Yeah. And also Hogger at the top got taunted and killed. They're gonna lose 2 forts here. They're gonna lose both of them. We now have a 1 level lead, 5 kill advantage, and boy, oh boy, are they in trouble now. The Finnish team, they have not won a map in this group yet. They are 0-3 at this point in time. If they lose here, it's pretty much impossible for them to make it out of the group. They could still come in 3rd place, and if anybody else drops out, they can still try and go for the replacement slot, but that's about it. They get a kill quickly, though, so they're still continuing to be aggressive. They're realizing that the only way for them to come back into this game is forcing fights before level 10 is available for the Russian players. And they are looking for a 2nd kill here. The Haka nearly destroyed, but he made it out. So, yeah, there it is. And, well, at the same time, what else are we gonna do here? So, we have down at the bottom of the map, well, level 10 is kicking in just a second, so that's the first thing that happens. But at the same time, we're still having a 4 versus 5 in the middle of the map. Now that Li Ning is joining the battle, it's going to be even numbers, though, and that changes things very quickly. So all of a sudden, we have them coming in with another potential taunt even. He is still on cooldown, but there's a level 10. So a bit of a scramble, a bit of a weird skirmish between these two. Definitely blows exchanged after the initial kill happened on Li Ning, but they weren't able to follow up too heavily on it. They're still behind by half a level and don't have level 10, so that's a problem. But here it is. At this point, we have the Immortal coming down in another 5 seconds, and the battle for the 2nd objective is gonna get unleashed. We have 15 stacks for Vala. We have a level 7 ready, so it's gonna be much easier for her to get the damage out, but not if she's dead. And that's the biggest problem, because she's not looking too healthy over here. They're desperately trying to keep her alive with the 2 supports, but it's not gonna be enough. Vala is down. She's eliminated. Finally, level 10 for Finland, and they go for Judgment. All right, Judgment it is. But yeah, it's gonna be tough. Look at the stacks that we see for Cassia. 60 stacks at 7 minutes and 30 seconds in. That's great. That's really, really good. So that is not too shabby. Very good stacking from Cassia. Her damage output is gonna make a huge difference if he can keep this one up. There's already the play with Judgment as they're trying to get the kills in. 7-sided strike has been used, and the blue team moves out of the fight with any issues thus far. The Haka still sitting in the back, has to retreat a little bit. More stacks coming in from Vala. She's at 16,000 damage. Cassia is more than doubling this. and is still trying to get more stacks together. The halftime show victory for the blue team is also looking all but guaranteed, and they kill another one. Hogger down, Vala in trouble, she dies, and they are cleaning house. Tyrael is dead, the rest of the team barely able to get out here. The shove is ready, but the taunt is as well, and that marks the death of Stukov. Stukov down, and of course the objective is now wide open. They're 9 kills ahead, and they have level 13. So yeah, right now this is honestly the blue team's game to lose. If they overcommit, then there's still a chance that the Finnish team can turn it around. But if they're just playing their style, go for the objective, and execute these little plays in those choke points, then they should be able to lock in a victory here. But I love how the Finnish team is just fighting back, and they're not giving up on this at all. They're just pogging this out down here. They want the kills. They know they risk a lot. They play an aggressive and very aggressive game. They get punished for it again. Against other teams, it might have worked, but these guys, they know how to play these chaotic fights, and they turn it around at the perfect moment in time. It was so close for the Finnish team to pick up a couple of kills here, but they couldn't quite make it work, and instead they get punished for the chase and lose 4 heroes. 16 kills to 3. I can't really fault the team in red though to make these plays, because it was the only thing that could get them back into the game, to be aggressive, to try and make these moves. If they lock 2-3 kills in that situation and chase them down, they close the gap on experience by a large margin. But as is, they are 14 kills behind, 3 levels behind. They have lost too much at the bottom of the map. Stukov is just now coming back, but at the top, this is going to be a massive immortal that they have to deal with. Vala has 25 stacks on level 1, but just look at Cassia. Cassia's at 77 stacks. We're 10 minutes into the game. She's been doing a fantastic job. Great moves by Bishops. Good judgment move again. They try for the kill. Renella low, jumping back out. It's Hogger that dies. They are trying their best, but they cannot get these final blows in. The Russian players, they're thriving in the chaos, and they're always able to get these kills. Now the wall is gone. We have a 5 versus 3 situation with a level 16 talent coming in any second, which means they would rock 2 talents over the opponent's team. 60,000 damage for Cassia, still doubling the damage that we're getting from Vala in this game. And they will try to go for game here at the 11-minute mark. So, off we go. We already have them 17 kills ahead. Vala explodes. The core is losing its shield. And this is a victory for the blue team. They are 4-0 in this Group B of the European Nations Cup qualifier. They won both of their matches. Well done. And a fantastic control in all of these team fights. GG and well played as they take another 2-0 victory.
Thank you everybody for watching the video today. I hope that you enjoyed the show and the commentary. And keep in mind that the spoiler protection that is going to run for the rest of the video is made possible by all the support on patreon.com. So guys, if you want to support my work, if you want to help me start new projects and keep the spoiler protection in place, please consider heading over to patreon.com/Khaldor. There's also a link in the YouTube description, and check that out. Thanks in advance, and see you guys next time with more esports coverage here on Khaldor TV. Have a great day.